The current global situation has done everything it possibly could to delay this restoration, but we're back at Mad Ford Engineering to finish off this series. In this episode, we'll be starting to rebuild the car. Let's head in. Nick, good to see you again.
Good morning, Mike.
For anyone that hasn't been following you on Twitch,
Yes.
showing live what's going on, what has happened since we last filmed?
Okay, so the first real big thing really is this beautiful power plant.
Oh my God, look at that. How is that my engine?
It certainly is.
How glossy that intake is. So the situation with this, we were going to strip it right down, but then you saw the condition of the engine and it was pretty much as good as it can get
Yes.
for the mileage.
Okay, there's a few things that I did off camera and I want to just appease some of the comments on YouTube. Okay, the timing chains were replaced in their entirety with slippers, with tensioners, everything we possibly could get. The bottom end I went through, I checked the big ends, I checked the mains, I checked the thrusts, everything is perfect. There's very minimal wear.
Okay, and then there was a discovery with the gearbox.
Yes.
It turned out that it wasn't actually an ST200 gearbox.
No, it's not. The original gear train in your gearbox was actually out of a Gear X.
Okay, so someone's lunched it and put in a cheapo gearbox.
So the essence of having the wrong gear setting, you've got wrong ratio on fifth. Yours had actually got 41 teeth on fifth. It should have 43 on fifth.
Okay.
So it will give you a bit more legs at the top end.
Perfect.
Luckily for you, we had a Mondeo ST in with a differential failure. And Lee, the customer, really nice guy, actually gave you his spare gearbox.
Thank you, Lee.
So we took all the gear train out and put it into your brand new vapor blasted casings with your original diff. So that's back to exactly how it should be. The diff ratio now is 3.82 to 1, which is exactly what it should be.
Okay, so with the full 202 from this and the proper gearing, I should be able to hit my original top speed.
Easy peasy.
Okay, what else?
Okay, rear suspension.
So I remember when this came off the car, this was much rustier than it is now. How have you refreshed this?
Okay, we took it all back to its bare components as you saw last time.
Yep.
It's all gone for shot blasting, powder coating. All the hardware has been changed to genuine Ford. New bushes, new bearings, new hubs, new wheel nuts, calipers, brakes, flexes, ABS sensors, you name it, everything has been changed. Ball joints, all back to the colours it should be.
So how much of this is refreshed and how much has been replaced?
I would say refreshed 60%.
Cool.
And the rest new.
Okay, and then I saw my gleaming bodywork through there.
Yes,
Is
indeed.
the car now fully painted?
Yes, it is.
So Mick, I saw this car when it had been freshly painted, but there's been more done since then. This engine bay looks sick.
Okay, so we prepped the engine bay out and we've painted it Ford Panther Black. What we've done that Ford didn't do was Ford literally just dusted a black colouring under the bonnet and then they left it. I couldn't leave it like that. That engine demands a box to sit in that's gleaming. So we've lacquered, that's had 4 coats of lacquer under the engine bay as well. So that will give it a good bit of protection as well.
That engine with that glossy intake in here is going to look insane.
Absolutely amazing.
At the back?
Yes, back end has been, all in the boot has been prepped. It's been stone chipped, it's been coloured, and the same again, Ford never lacquered inside the boot. So you could literally wipe the paint off with your finger. We've lacquered it. So that will protect it and it looks a lot better as well.
Okay, and then to get rid of any rust underneath, you've also done the underside as well?
Yes, the entire underneath of the car has been wire wheeled. Any rust has been treated and we've completely done a stone protection underneath.
And there was some more comments you wanted to talk about. We showed the nice big rust hole on the passenger side and you wanted to adhere to some of the comments there.
I need to put those comments to bed. Who in their right mind would think we would paint a car with a massive hole in the sill?
Paper
That
mache.
didn't happen.
Newspaper.
So what the cameras didn't see was the 3 weeks of work prior to you filming, which was a new sill, a new inner sill, a new strengthener, 2 new seatbelt mounts, quarter panel repairs, chassis repairs. That was not filmed. They didn't see the 3 weeks.
I've told you, Mick, don't read the comments.
I know.
It's YouTube.
It's very difficult not to.
Well, the plan with this episode is to start rebuilding the car. Is there anything that needs done before we start that?
Yes, I'd like to show you the process to recondition the front subframe. So that's sandblasting, powder coating, and that's the process that we
Okay,
go through.
so that'll turn out the same as what we've just seen.
Correct, yes.
Perfect. These look mint, Mick.
Andy's done an awesome job as usual.
What's the next step with this?
Right, we'll go over and see Ian at IG Powder Coating.
Okay.
And he's going to show us the process of powder coating.
Ian, loving the setup that you've got here. Why do you powder coat car parts?
Basically, it's a more durable finish than paint. It's less likely to chip off, a lot more longer lasting. With this certain powder as well, it's got primer built into the paint as well, so rather than having to do 2 coats of the paint, you can just do literally just the 1 coat of this powder. There is other powders where you have to do the zinc primer first, but that obviously is an extra process that isn't required with this special powder. So yeah, it just saves a lot easier to do than painting, because you haven't got to mask everything up as such. You just have the part, and it's just a lot more durable finish, to be honest.
Well, yeah, with the other projects we've got going, we'll definitely be back. But yeah, let's see this thing in the oven.
Brilliant, brilliant. No, yeah, we'll get it put in.
With the subframe as good as new, it was time for some last minute jobs on the engine before mating them together. I can't quite believe just how good a job Mick and the guys have done refurbishing this engine. Come and take a look at the butterfly valves. You guys will remember they were covered in carbon and gunge, especially one side because the variable intake track didn't quite work. They're absolutely spotless now. And then if you come around this side, you've got all the belt arrangement. The whole thing looks like something you'd see in a car company's reception area. Cosworth has got engines like this sitting in the reception for you to see, pieces of art essentially. Look at this. Better than new, and I love seeing all the original Ford badges. These were all covered in gunk and carbon and all that rubbish, and now they're absolutely gleaming. What a thing. Mick, we're back. We've had a sleep. You've cheated.
I have.
We wanted to set you a challenge of how quick it would take you to put clutch, flywheel and gearbox all together in a runner.
Yes.
And you've already put them on.
Yes, I have. I've also put some more wiring loom on, aircon pipes and all the coolant pipes as well. Mundane stuff that you don't really need to see.
Okay, so you and Matt are going to do the big job now, transmission onto engine.
We're going to put the transmission onto the back of the gearbox, bolt her up, and then we're going to put that whole assembly onto the subframe.
Okay, crack on. Okay, gearbox is on. It's crazy to think that this lump actually fits in that now fully refurbished engine bay over there. It is massive. The engine's big enough, but now with the transmission mated to it, it's such a beast of a thing. Next job is putting this onto our newly refurbished subframe and then lifting the whole lot into the car. Mick, I've always wanted to install a drive shaft, so can you please assist me?
This is your lucky day, Mike.
Exactly.
Okay, grab your drive shaft.
So we've got the 3 shafts here,
Yes.
2 drive shafts, and this is the...
Intermediate shaft.
Okay, so that's to kind of elongate to the other wheel.
Yes.
Okay, so slide it straight through here.
Yep. Line it up to your 2 stud holes, and she should just pop in like that.
Oh, that was nice. I don't know if you guys heard the splines meshing there, but that was lovely. So does the orientation matter, or
No.
just straight in?
That's the one.
That's the one.
So your drive shaft spline into there, and then this opening here sits on the ball joint there. Get it square. Oh yes, you feel that?
That was lovely.
And then onto your ball joint. That's it.
You guys will all know from episode 1 and 2 that we have a donor ST200 to strip parts from, and the main things I wanted from that car were the wheels. Now, they were a bit scruffy when they came off the car, so Mick got his pal Adam from Planet Wheels just down the road in Aldridge to give them a refurbish, and haven't they come out mint. The only thing they need now is a set of tyres, which should be coming soon. Halfords can provide mobile technicians to carry out tyre services, battery replacements, oil changes, windscreen chip repairs and more in a safe, contactless manner. Today, Mike, our Halfords mobile expert, is providing us with some new slicks. With this service available to 75% of households in the UK, we've included a link in the description for you to check out how Halfords could come to your home for your motoring needs. You can book a range of services for your car, all from the safety of your home. For the new wheels, we've gone for a set of Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. These should take the grip of the Mondeo to the next level. Old versus new, I think we've had a bit of an upgrade. Nice. And finally, our friends from Halfords will also be fitting a 12-volt Yuasa silver battery, so we can finally start the car up after what has been 4 months now in the workshop. This battery comes with a 5-year guarantee and is good for around 50,000 engine starts compared to around 20,000 starts from a normal off-the-shelf battery. It's also engineered for nice strong starts on a cold Scottish morning, so it should be the perfect companion for my Porsche-derived V6. So the Yuasa battery's fitted. Hopefully this will be the first time the car started up since we started the restoration in November. Confident?
Confident. I need to check that everything's plugged in, so we'll just check. Crank sensor's good, cam sensor's good, throttle position sensor's good, EGR's good. Coil pack. There we go. Try that, Mike.
So guys, that's the end of episode 3 and we smashed our aim to start up the car. Now there has been some sad news in the Ford world. The Mondeo has very recently been discontinued. They're building SUVs and hatchbacks, but their saloon model is basically dead. So I couldn't think of a better reason to finish this project, get it mint and get it back on the road to save the Mondeo name. Now, I've been doing the behind the scenes of this episode over on my own channel, DriveTribe, so check that out in the description. And if you want to know what's going on with this car right now, finishing up the restoration, get onto Twitch and follow Mad Ford Engineering. I've been Mike, and don't forget to subscribe to DriveTribe.